Hello, this is the Rubin Blakey Commentary Box podcast, loud and clear on Welsh football. I'm Rob Phillips, the former BBC Wales football correspondent. This is Nathan Blake, former Wales international and Premier League player. We're recording this at the University of South Wales Atrium campus with the support of the journalism and media courses. Don't forget, you can find us on all the main social media platforms, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky, and of course YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts, including Spotify. And you can catch up on the first 3 episodes, including episode 2 with our special guest, Jess Fishlock. And if you want to get in touch, X and Instagram are probably the best platforms to do it. And look out for at Rubin Blakey handle on those platforms. And if you've got a thought about a game that you watched this weekend, well, give us a shout. Get in contact with us. And as you know, we aim to focus on not just Wales and men's, women's sides, not just the 4 Football League clubs, but all football in Wales, including Merthyr and the Cymru Leagues. And I've got to start, Nathan, with this.
Okay. Hello, Rob, by the way.
Yeah, hi. Jason Lewis on X. He's a Wrexham fan, and you've probably seen him in his disguise because he's the founder of the Wales Evil Knievel's, a charity organisation.
I used to have that toy as a kid. Great.
Yeah, and he does loads of work for charity.
Well
and
done,
he
mate.
admitted that he was late to the pod, but he's been catching up. And he said, I'm now up to speed. I've caught up with all the podcasts now. Great show, chaps. Rob is right about Blakey being argumentative. He could have a row in an empty house.
Or in a telephone box. Yeah. You think I'm argumentative, but you're not, right?
Well, I'm normally right. That's the thing, aren't I? We'll see this later. But hey, I mean, this is what it's about. We're like people who always talk football.
Yeah, and I would say we agree probably 60%, maybe 70% of the time.
Yeah.
But we have a large chunk which
I disagree, 72%.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good for me. What do you mean good for me?
That's sharp, yeah. Nice, yeah. But yeah, it might come across that way, but you know as well as I do, you give as good as you get, right?
Yeah, and it's what we do, isn't it? It's what football fans do.
Yeah.
And this is a podcast all about the football fans. And that's why we want to hear from fans after games. And we'll mention sort of little bits like that on social media.
What was his name again?
Jason Lewis it is.
Jace, well, you can either take your advice from someone who never played the game, or you can take your advice from someone who played, 300 or 400 games. It's up to you, mate. But hey, I know where I would go.
And so do I. I wasn't a football correspondent for nothing,
Yeah, but, the difference was, when you were a correspondent, you used to get, strung up by players and stuff like that, didn't you? So.
I've never been to Australia, but I know what it's like. So, yeah, I don't take this football.
Yeah, what was that? Because you're always being hung upside down by ankles by players?
I was not quite that, but you'd agree.
You're Rogerson.
1 or 2 players
Damon Sill.
did take exception to some of the things I wrote and said.
Yeah.
But hey, we're all friends now.
Hey,
as you and
I could have done. Things would have been very different, wouldn't they?
You could have,
yeah.
We've remained friends all these years.
We have, well.
Who needs enemies?
Yeah, freaking hell, right.
Anyway, I think we should start with Swansea City. Got their season off to a winning, the first win of the season, 1-0 triumph over your former club, Sheffield United. Ronaldo scored the goal, but I think one of the star players was Ethan Galbraith, $1.5 million from Orient,
nice
in
player.
that midfield.
Yeah,
he is,
got a
isn't
bit
he?
of everything, right? Belfast boy, tough, can tackle, can run, can pass, can pick a pass, can play. Coming up from Leyton Orient, I like him. I really like him. But, they've got new players that are still gelling. I think they missed a lot of chances. I think they could have ended up winning that game quite comfortably. Sheffield United, don't know what's happened there, but that transition is not really. I would have kept Wilder and at least got to the Premier League or near it before I transitioned. But Swansea, probably 4 or 5 really good chances they had and played well. Cullen, I'd say Liam, a little bit of advice from a fellow striker. When the ball's coming across, the defender's always going to try and slide. Just drop your shoulder on him or take a touch, let him slide by, take a touch, tap it in. I think he had 2 or 3 opportunities like that. But that's just me being, picky.
We think they're in the market, though. In fact, we know they're in the market for a striker.
Yeah.
By what you've seen so far, because it struck me that Galbraith comes into the midfield. They lost Lewis O'Brien from last season.
Yeah.
Joe Allen, of course, retired from football.
Joe, come on the show, man. There's a little cry out for Joe. I love him. He's top man.
Yeah, that's something we can look at.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd always welcome Joe Allen on that seat.
Oh,
what are you going to do?
I'll sit over there, Rob.
But it's, the midfield was something that they needed to
bolster.
Because you can only lose so many. Maliki El-Khoi made his debut.
Yeah, kid. Only a babby, really. Was he 19, something like that?
Doesn't look a babby on a pitch,
no,
though, does
good
he?
physical specimen, but still, experience-wise, he's a baby, but good player again. So, yeah, I really like what they've done and the direction of travel they're going in, the players they've signed. And I think they strike me as a team that's going to get better as they go, as they understand. And hopefully, touch wood, they don't have too many injuries and stuff like that. That's always a case that happens. But do you know what I mean, Rob? They look like they're not in full stride. And sometimes it's a momentum gainer because there's so many new players. But yeah, I quite like the shape of them as well.
Yeah, midfielder Marko Stamanic was in the stands on Saturday. Yeah. Should complete the move from Nottingham Forest, maybe by the time this podcast is published. Spent last season on loan at Olympiacos, 31 caps for New Zealand. Is that the sort of profile of a player that you'd be looking for?
Yeah, but I do think, I think more importantly, they need a striker or two. Not forward players, they need a striker or two, right? Because I think Liam can play that position, but I think he's better as a floating sort of 10, right? So I would say, like Peru, they had that sort of target man, that sort of player that's going to get you 15, 20 goals and threatens the defence in a way that, Cullen's got nice little jinky moves and stuff, but the physicality part, you need someone. In the Championship, you've got physicality, speed, athleticism, power. You are up against some really, really top players. So it's, another midfielder, by all means, bolster the squad, but I would say they need more than one striker.
Yeah, Alan Sheehan did say, a striker is on the way.
Oh, okay.
So are you looking for, they tried to get Ollie McBurney, didn't they?
Yeah.
And he went to Hull.
Yeah.
So do you think they're looking for a striker in that mould to play alongside Liam Cullen or in front of Liam Cullen so he can play
I think
off the strike? Because I feel a bit sorry for Liam Cullen at the moment. To me, he's not an out-and-out target man. They do try and play balls low into the box because what they can't do is put crosses over. He's not going to get there. But we know how effective he can be.
Yeah, but you can, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you understand the game as a striker, like, in other words, like, it's like saying anyone who's over or is taller than you or bigger than you, you're going to have a difficulty beating them in the air. I'm, like, 6 foot. I played against giants and beat them in the air. It's about your natural spring and about your thought. Tony Cotty, players like that. They're only duts, but they were so sharp. Ian Wright getting across the near post, things like that. So he can get goals, but I take your point. I know what you mean. The size and stature, physicality, and it is going to be difficult. But I think they want a striker who plays beyond Liam rather than, I think
Yeah.
Liam is the 10 sort of player, the floater,
That's
the
what
connector,
I mean, yeah.
the link man.
Because he's really good at dropping into little holes in and around a target man.
Yeah.
With Potnick, it hasn't really worked yet.
Yeah.
And he had last season,
Yeah.
showed flashes.
Yeah.
Some scored a great goal at Derby.
Yeah.
Just took it ball down, turned, swiveled,
Yeah.
and it was in the back of the net. Jan Potnick looked a quality player that night. But it hasn't yet mushroomed into what you would say.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe it's just that step from in the Championship. The Championship is a hard, it's a hard division. And I think even some Premier League players who drop down to the Championship find it hard.
Yeah.
And not just because there's 38 games in the Premier League and
It's
46 in the Championship. Although that is a routine that takes some getting used to, isn't it?
That's why your pre-season has to be absolutely ridiculous, like it used to be when I was at Bolton with the great Colin Todd. I mean, I'm speaking like he's passed away, but Toddy's still alive and kicking, thankfully.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised all the pre-seasons he used to do.
Probably the hardest pre-season I'd done as a professional was under Colin Todd. But it was that psychological to know you're dropping into the Championship, and it's a different animal to the Premier League. There are still similarities. There's a lot of quality. There's obviously a lot of quality in the Premier League, but there was probably less internationals in the Championship, where now you get a lot of internationals in the Championship, a lot of internationals in the Premier League. So, but it's the step. It's a step down, but a step up, if you know what I mean. Because it's a step down in quality, but probably a step up in physicality.
Right, I'm with
you. The stay in the course.
Right, I'm with you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That extra 8 games don't sound like much, but it is a lot. And plus, then your cup games, if you have a decent cup run, you can end up playing 55 games, 56 games in a season. It's ridiculous, So it's a tough ask. And players who go there and are not successful, you might take a little bit of time to work it out, but I always say it tends to be your speed of thought is not quick enough, or you're not physical enough or athletic enough. You just can't, because the defenders, they don't give you a split second. And in the Premier League, it's even less again. So it's tough.
It was an interesting pre-match interview with Tom Gorrige, the chief executive at Swansea. In fact, there was an interesting thread on X on Saturday night involving me when somebody accused me of doing the interview.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't me, because I was at the Cardiff City Stadium.
Okay. At least you got some props, though.
And they did sort of...
they attacked you, did they?
Well, not attacked. They pointed out that the interviewer asked Tom Gorrige in the context of Snoop Dogg and
Snoop Froggy Dog
and Luka Modric. Don't sing. We've tried this before. It doesn't work.
Sorry.
In the context of
it's only a little.
What happened with Ryan and Rob at Wrexham.
Mm-hmm. You're on first name terms now, right?
Oh, okay. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. I've only spoken to them a couple of times, and that was... by the way, can I get a quick... No. Okay. So anyway, they could come on as well. We'd love to have Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
They're not big enough. We need bigger names.
Okay. Well, let's aim for the stars.
Yeah.
But the interviewer was saying, well, were they an inspiration? In other words, trying to get the likes of Snoop Dogg and Luka Modric involved. And someone took it the wrong way, saying, well, hang on a minute. Swansea have been in the Premier League for 7 years. Wrexham were 15 years outside the leagues. Why should Swansea take inspiration from that? But it was really interesting what Tom Gorrige said, because, I'm not one for stats, but he pointed out the turnovers at clubs, okay? And he compared, so this is for the year end in 2024. Tom Brady's Birmingham had a turnover of 29.6 million for the year end in June 24. Wrexham was 26.7 million, and Swansea were 21.5 million. So we talked about before the sort of spending power of Wrexham. Actually, in the context, I think Swansea are backing Alan Sheehan this summer.
Okay. Well, they've had to, really. They've lost quite a number of players. So you've got a new manager. You want to give him the best opportunity to succeed. I think the Swansea way, as a lot of fans say, I don't think it's what it used to be. All right? I don't think they're a 20 pass sort of side who patiently build and blah, 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 blah. I just don't think they've got that sort of player level in the Championship to be able to, keep the ball, but they still play decent football. You have to give them credit. And, a new manager, yes, you've had a pre-season and you've had little spells before, but it takes time. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can seem like it's going nowhere, and all of a sudden something clicks. You get a result against someone. You score a 1-0 late on away at like West Brom or something like that. It was a fancy team, and all of a sudden it just kicks you on. So, and it's the same for a player. So, sorry for you getting attacked on social media.
No, I wasn't attacked. It was. I just had to put the person right that it wasn't me.
You put them in their place, did you?
No, I just mildly pointed out that I was at Cardiff City Stadium. It couldn't have been me.
Don't mess with it. Don't be fooled by the framework.
He took some convincing. Then he heard the interview, and then, to be fair, apologised and said, "No, I know it wasn't you."
Yeah.
But it was an interesting interview with Tom Gorrige.
Yeah.
And
I think you have to look. Sorry, Rob. I think you have to look at the influence of, some of the names that have come into some of the clubs. Right. I mean, there was Lewis Hamilton, Serena Williams, Tom Brady, as you mentioned. Obviously,
Ed Sheeran at Ipswich.
Yeah, and it's becoming a
But
thing.
it's the way you maximise it, isn't it?
The idea is if you've got publicity is, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. I would point at Cardiff and say there is. Sometimes you can have really terrible, awful publicity, right? That is a detriment to you. But if you can bring in a name who is like a Hollywood star or I don't know, a musician who's big time musician, of course of course it's gonna boost, because people who follow them then follow some people they call themselves like obsessive, not obsessive fans, but they're obsessive, and they'll follow whatever. So Rob decides to go swimming, they follow Rob and see what's up to in his day, and they stick to that person like glue. So of course, and those people are so famous that you're not going to get 10s and 20s. You're only going to get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. So, I think I welcome it. I think more the merrier. I just think anyone who says, money in this, and if you worry about money in football,
too late.
Way too late, bro. Yeah. That train went.
Go back to 1992.
Well, I would say no. I'd say go back to Trevor Francis was the first million pound player.
Yeah.
And if you look at what he was earning compared to what the average guy earned, it was still a lot more money.
Yeah.
He was probably earning the kind of money you would earn if you were a top sort of barrister and stuff like that. So, footballers have always been at the top of the tree when it's been Georgie Best. The money he earned at Man United. You're going back, you know what I mean? So I think there's this sort of false sort of narrative that, it's been spoiled since it's been the Premier League, but money's always been in football.
Yeah, so we'll see how...
You've got to make the most of it.
How well Swansea develop that marketing.
Well, they've got two.
With Snoop Dogg.
They've got two great angles.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine Snoop does a concert at the end of the season at Swansea Stadium. There's a little idea for you.
And Tom Gorrige, if you're watching, yes, I would like a ticket for Snoop Dogg. Nathan Blake and I will be there.
No, I will be there. I'll be watching from home.
Okay. And talking about marketing opportunities as we were, if the next Ryan Reynolds or Snoop Dogg is out there, well, we're almost 4 podcasts in now, and you may be wanting to get in on the action.
I like the style.
Here at Rob and Blakey's commentary box, loud and clear on Welsh football. If you do, we're open to offers. And even if you're not a Hollywood superstar, drop us an email if you want to talk about sponsorship or advertising. And the best way to get us is robinblakey@gmail.com. robinblakey@gmail.com. Now, if you missed the first 3 episodes, I'll ask again, where were you? You'll have noticed there's something of a power struggle happening already. We're vying for the monopoly here on being right. And I usually am, as I was last week. I was right on one thing about Wrexham. Danny Ward did
I
start.
know he played it.
Danny Ward started in goal,
Yeah, he
ahead
did.
of Arthur Okonkwo. Danny Ward started in goal again. I know it's going to come up. I've got to say,
Wait a minute.
because
What we got?
Wrexham were beaten at the weekend,
Yeah.
and I think Danny Ward will be
Second goal.
unhappy about the
Third
second
goal
goal.
possibly should have came for as well. In my
Okay.
day, you would have said like a ball dropping into this middle of the 6-yard box, 4 or 5 yards out. I'd expect my keeper to come for that. But I always say, I'm not a keeper. What I need is a goalkeeping coach next to me, like Gavin Ward, to say, yeah, well, you should have got to come for that. But the second goal, I think Danny would accept, yeah, he can't get done there. Although the defender was a bit, I think it was Cody he was trying to cover. I'm not sure who the other defender was, should have gone there. Cody run past him, went out, and like, he didn't try and block it. He almost thought, well, I'll block the space so you can't go across Danny. And then Danny will sort out the near post. But,
Yeah,
not done.
I've got to say, Wrexham fans are not panicking. Nathan Broadhead made his debut as well. Come on to
should have
that in a
scored.
minute. Yeah, nobody seems to
Lovely
be
flick by
panicking.
O'Brien. Should have scored. Got to score.
Emma Roberts on X said, expected a tough start, a few defence errors in the game, and need to take our chances. But we'll iron this out by next Saturday. I think we'll be fine once we get that first
I've got a
win.
theory.
Oh, go on.
So I watched Wrexham, and they did create some really good chances, right? And played okay. But I was looking at them, think, you look lethargic, boys. You don't look sharp. Sharp as attack. Like, it's pre-season just finished.
Yeah.
Players are usually, you're running out of steam at 70, 80 minutes, right? Just trying to get your fitness up. But you start on fire. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, like, they look okay, but they do look a bit heavy-legged and what have you. And then I looked at their pre-season, Australia.
Now, I brought this up in I think it was episode 1. You can check back on YouTube and
You're
Spotify
right again,
and all the places where you normally get your podcasts.
Yeah.
And I made the point that the last couple of seasons, I'd been concerned when I'd seen them early in the season
America,
that they were a
Australia.
little bit leggy because of the transatlantic and now other side of the world trips they'd been making. But of course, they've had 3 successive promotions. So who am I, who, as you pointed out, never played the game, other than Pontypridd YMCA, got taken off at half time. Who am I to say they've got anything wrong?
They don't look, like, in fairness, West Brom, they're stepping up, right? And they're
Yeah.
a new team. And
Yeah.
you've got to take all these things into consideration. Some old players mixing with new players and what have you. But I was watching the game and I watched it repeatedly. And I'm like, I don't see that spark sharpness. Kiefer looked sharp,
Yeah.
in fairness. Done well for the first goal, done brilliant for the second goal. Robbed the lad and what have you. No, robbed the lad. O'Brien flicks and Broadhead puts it wide, right? So done really well. But I'm looking at them and thinking they don't seem to have that spark, that 5-10 yard sharpness, whether it's to close the ball, defending, getting closer to players in the box. Callum Grattan's a good player, right, Rob? We've seen him at championship level.
Yeah.
We've seen him at Cardiff. We know he can
He's
do a job
decent.
in the Premier
Yeah,
League,
he could,
right?
yeah.
So there's these things that you're stepping up as well against quality. The championship is not just a tough league, but it's a quality league. So everything you thought from last season, that player's not going to get that shot away. I can get my foot there. listen, you got to be a split second quicker than you were last season because that striker's going to take that shot a split second quicker. So everything speeds up the higher you go. Internationals even quicker again, right? So I looked at them and thought they look like they've played too many games over pre-season or something. And then I looked and thought, well, they haven't. And then I thought, Australia, that could be a problem. So maybe they'll get into sort of a better sort of physical state.
They
Not that
certainly
they're out
have
of
done
shape.
the last 3 years. They certainly have.
They'll
done,
kick
yeah.
in maybe, mid-September,
Yeah.
October. But like I'll still maintain I'll go like top 6.
Yeah, okay.
I'll hold my ground.
I'm still going top half as well, top 8, I think I said,
Yeah,
on top
I think
10.
you did, yeah.
And if the speculation is to be believed, by the time this podcast comes out,
Another.
Callum Doyle, England under-21 defender at Manchester City, will be a Wrexham player for what is thought to be around a fee of £8 million.
yeah.
Interestingly, he's had championship experience, Coventry, Leicester,
Yeah, he's a good player.
Norwich.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Yeah, and I think if you really got ambitions, like I don't think they're overspending, right?
They're the biggest spender. If this goes through, they'll be
The biggest spenders.
the
in
biggest spenders
Championship.
in the championship.
Which, right, so what's your ambition?
Yeah,
To get to the Premier League.
yeah.
I've said before, you need to make a statement when you come up or you're a team that's in the Championship or in any division. If you're looking to win it or, go for it, you got to make other people stand up and take note. And I think the signings they've made have done that.
Yeah, so the quicker Wrexham get their first win.
Yeah,
It's
listen.
Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it, this weekend?
Yeah,
so
I mean, there's never going to be a better opportunity because they are in free-for-all.
They are.
Chef Wednesday.
They are.
Unfortunately, a big rival of one of my old clubs, but still, Sheffield, great city. Don't want to see them going down.
We talked about Danny Ward playing. There's a Wales squad being announced next week for the Kazakhstan game, which you'll be at on September the 4th.
Yes, I will. Astana.
And then home to Canada on the 9th. And you mentioned Kiefer Moore. It was an injury dealt before last Saturday. He played. Danny Ward started in goal. Carl Darlow was on the bench
Who starts?
for Leeds United. Well, I was about to ask you.
Yeah, because you keep asking me,
Well,
so I'm going to
because
throw it back to you quicker.
What I will
Who starts?
I think Carl Darlow will start because I think Craig Bellamy will be loyal to a goalkeeper
should start?
who's done very little wrong. Well, what I'll say about Carl Darlow is, and I think Wayne Hennessy used to do this, he could get up to international speed without playing very much. Now, it is a bit of a concern because the goalkeeper who played last night, they paid, I think it was 15 million for Lucas Perry from French club Lyon. So you're not going to pay out that unless you're going to start with him. Do you see what I mean? So is that
it always comes down to a battle. Do you know what I mean? You can buy someone. Like, I've seen it. I've seen people, I won't mention any names or anything like that, but I've seen players come into the club for a lot of money, and within a week, the boys are going, WTF, how does that work?
Yeah.
Right? What's going on there? Because, the value that
was there before is better.
Yeah. And they might get their opportunity, but then if they're not up to speed, then out with the new, in with the old.
So on the Wales squad, I think Carl Darlow starts.
Okay.
And
do you think he should start, though? That's the difference.
I think he probably should because I don't think he's done...
Don't put yourself in Craig Bellamy's head. Put yourself in Rob's head. Would you start
No,
him?
I am in Rob's head. And I wouldn't dare occupy Craig Bellamy's head.
He'd bite your head off.
He would. I think Carl Darlow starts because I think Craig Bellamy is genuinely loyal to players who've performed for him. Now, if Carl Darlow had a couple of nightmare games for Wales, but I think he's done really well since he's got in the squad. So I would stick with Carl Darlow. But Danny Ward, the more he plays if Carl Darlow doesn't, has a chance to to keep knocking on the door.
Yeah, but what I'd say about Danny is he's gotta make sure those mistakes like that second goal, like how you got to look at it is if he blocks that, they end up 2-2.
Yeah, that's one way of looking at it.
Well,
that's okay.
That's you got a late goal, you end up 2-2.
Yeah,
you know, and like I said, the third goal, I'm not a goalkeeping coach. I didn't play in goal. The only position I didn't play, but I would be saying, or if a Chrissy Fairclough or a Jerry Taggart when I was at Bolton would be saying, Brian Gale, they would be saying, and Alan Kelly would have come for that, I think, and punched it, at least, or punched the player. Yeah. But they would have come for the ball for the third goal. So
you're going with Carl Dahl to start in Kazakhstan?
I don't want to agree with you, so no, I'm not. I'm going to go with... I'm only joking, yeah, I think you are.
I was going to say, just because I'm right, it doesn't mean you have to disagree.
You're not right, you just got there first.
And quickly on the Wales squad, because, you know, by the time we talk about it next week, it won't be out, but...
I'm going to miss you, man. It's going to be weird not doing games. It's weird not doing games.
Oh, we've got a great replacement being lined up for you, don't worry. In fact, it could be the start of a really successful... We may have to change the name of the title. You know, Rob will stay, and then maybe, I can just see it now, it'll have a real effect. But if you do enjoy Rob and Blakey's Commentary Box podcast, we're on all social media platforms. Have a watch now on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Instagram, X, Threads and Blue Sky. And at the moment, Nathan Blake is alongside me. And of course, what will not change is that we're brought to you with the support of the journalism and media courses at the University of South Wales Atrium campus. Quickly back on Wales.
Yeah.
Let's go through the weekend. Harry Wilson started for Fulham. Yeah. Brennan Johnson scored for Spurs against Burnley.
Yeah.
No Ben Davis in the Spurs squad.
Yeah.
But
is he injured though?
Well, he was on the bench against PSG.
Might have picked something up in training. Because he's not someone that, if he's not on your starting lineup, he's always on your bench.
Yeah.
Because he's solid and he just 8 out of 10 every week.
And he's so solid for Wales.
And so experienced.
Brilliant for Wales.
Yeah.
Connor Roberts has been nursing a knock, so he didn't feature for Burnley. Liam Cullen obviously starting for Swansea. Ben Cabango says there's a real buzz, and he is responding to it. I think he looks
Cardiff boy, isn't he?
The part again.
Sorry, Swans.
He is. Well, he was at Newport's Academy for a while.
Newport Academy and ended up.
But I know you're impressed with David Brooks against Liverpool.
Yeah, I've always liked that.
We love him, don't we? Yeah, we agree on this big time, don't we?
I even remember that the ball was coming out of the air, dropping from about 60 foot. He was going away from goal, man on his back, and he just took a touch, just killed it dead. And for the goal, you know, the first goal, the left foot cross from wide. I'm like, you don't have to square up the man and cut inside. It was such an old school goal. It's what caught Liverpool out for me.
Yeah.
Canate, all of them, Virgil, because they used to players going down the wing and then cutting inside, right, and bending one or trying to play a 1-2. Brooksy and he wasn't even like near the touchline. He was what, 18-yard line sort of distance. First time, and great ball as well. The sort of ball that a keeper can't come out and a defender doesn't want to touch because he's running back to his own goal. And you as a striker, if you're ahead of your defence and, you know, behind the ball when it's played, you're licking your lips. And Semenyo, fantastic finish.
Yeah, former Newport County loan player.
Yeah. So Brooksy and
we love him a bit, don't we? He just glides. That's what I love about David Brooks. You can hardly see the legs
waddle.
running.
I always say
he glides across the turf. Yeah. He's got such a sort of elegant way of playing. It's difficult to describe.
Yeah.
I know I'm not very good at describing football, which is why I made a living out of it. But He just does. He's one of those players who are a joy to watch and effective too. And I think he's going to be a big part.
He's smooth.
Smooth, that's it. Yeah.
He's smooth.
Yeah, we're agreed on that as well.
Yeah. What's his name? Started for Forest as well.
Nico Williams. Yeah.
Started for Forest as well. So, like, our boys are playing, man.
They are, which is good,
which is great. Yeah.
The worry is Ampadu, who got injured.
Yeah.
For Leeds. Daniel James played as well.
James, he came off. But, you know.
And Joe Rodon.
Yeah. He was smashing last night.
Yeah.
Rhodes. He's matured into he had that aggression, but now he's got that aggression with the common sense as well.
Yeah.
So he's not just trying to beat everyone up all the time, which was what he used to do, which I used to like, because I know sooner or later you're going to grow up and that's going to settle down a bit, but you'll know when to be aggressive. Because if you can't, just a word of advice, managers, I always say, Premier League, Championship, when you get them an interview, 99 times out of 100, they will mention the word aggression. They'll never go out of the game. It's not what it was in my day, right? Players wearing their socks rolled down. Good luck. I mean, I used to go out like a knight, like mask and everything. And so, but they can, not many players wear the metal studs and stuff like that. But totally different. But yeah, player.
And on Wales, Ronan Capaccio of Cardiff was in the last squad.
Yeah.
He started. He scored a brilliant goal for Cardiff on the opening day of the season.
Peterborough, yeah.
And I watched Cardiff last Saturday. You guess by now we're recording this on Tuesday afternoon before Cardiff play AFC Wimbledon and before Newport play Salford. But on Capaccio, Craig Bellamy brought him in, didn't he?
Clever move.
To have a look at him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's maybe helped his start of the season in that he's got so much confidence that Craig Bellamy is picking me for a Wales squad.
It's huge booster.
Yeah.
He
just looks to the man born.
It gives you a huge boost. There's nothing like it. John Toshak picked me for Wales as a kid, and you don't ever see yourself when you're in the 21s. You all think, I'll play for the first team, but it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic because players who you don't know come through at 23, 24, 25, and then there's always then Giggsy come through 17. It's Wonder Kid, and so you don't. And Giggsy skipped the 21s sort of thing, went straight to the first team.
Yeah.
So, you can think everyone's gonna, this squad with the 21s now is going to be the same first team, but I think it was 2 or 3 from my squad that I ended up playing with in the first team, 3 or 4 maximum. So it's a tough ask, but it's a massive booster for Capaccio. What I would say, watching Cardiff game, just a little bit of advice to Capaccio: recover quicker when you lose the ball. It was late on. He gave the ball away on the touchline. He was out of position, granted. And then the boy went away from him. That's when I would be thinking, if they score, it's my fault. Get after him. Right? I still got nightmares about Maidstone back in, I think it was 1991.
Yes.
Losing the ball in midfield.
Yeah.
And the 5-0 on New Year's Day.
5-0, yeah, on New Year's Day.
And I lost the ball for the 3rd or 4th goal, I think.
That game was memorable because, do you remember the
bottom.
junior Bluebirds at Ninian Park? They used to sit by just to the right of
the dugout.
And they were losing 5-0. And the junior Bluebirds started firing out past a fuming Eddie May.
Fuming? Oh, my days. I thought Eddie was going to have a heart attack that day.
I'll never forget that. It was something else.
Eat a few of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I know it's brilliant talent, lovely player, doesn't get flustered, seems to be on a real sweet level all the time, Capaccio now.
Yeah.
Quick, low centre of gravity, can defend well, can get forward well, can score a goal as he's proved. But that was the only thing I'd say if we watch a video, just look your recovery.
Okay, you're coming out with some good advice today, Nate.
Well, I'm a 53-year-old man, Rob. I'm sure, I've got kids and everything. I can give
No,
you one
no,
or two bits of
and
advice.
it's
I do know the
quite
game
right
a
that
bit.
we're being recorded
Well,
at
we're
the
in the
University
uni.
of South
Yeah,
Wales
yeah.
Atrium campus with the help and support
Yeah.
of the media and journalism courses here. One more on Wales, Rubin Colwill. It's a question that comes up virtually every squad, whether he's in it or not. 3 goals before
The squad announcement.
the squad announcement and a couple of games in between. Has he done enough to be knocking on the door
What do you
again?
want me to say?
Well, I mean, you
What
and
do
I
you think?
don't need convincing on Rubin Colwill. Craig Bellamy clearly does, and he says he has to do more of the dirty work, the getting,
I know what he
the
means.
tracking back.
Yeah.
Now, I think he's doing more of that, and I'll add to this. He's adding to the sense of identity there is now with Cardiff, that Brian Barry Murphy has got them pressing effectively. He's often leading the press. Him and Yusuf Salak are leading the press. And I was struck by something your mate Jason Perry said at the weekend. He has been he's always said Rubin Colwill should have gone on loan. He's missed doing that to sort of learn some of the stuff that Craig Bellamy wants more from him. But he said he thought that last Saturday against Rotherham was Colwill's most disciplined performance that he'd seen in a Cardiff shirt.
Yeah, I'd say he's playing well, really well, right? I think he's a league below. I think Cardiff are a league below where they should be.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot easier. What I do think is that the captaincy or the vice captaincy was a really clever move from the manager, because we've said, you and I have said, plenty of people have said, well, why do so many managers dislike him then, right? So you've got a manager now who's shown confidence in him. And when a manager shows confidence in you, it breeds confidence. So you're seeing a confident. But I do take the point where it's a physicality thing with Rubin. Now, what I've said this to a few people. Rubin's younger brother is in the team. I think he'll be in the Welsh squad before Rubes.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I really do. I think he's more of a Craig type of player than Rubes. So what Rubes has got to do is he's got to basically be the main man who takes Cardiff to promotion this year.
And not worry so much about Wales.
Just be the man of that division, right? Be the man that when you go up to the championship, people are asking, right, can you do it again?
Right.
And then you do it again, and you only have to do it for a quarter of a season, half a season. You'll be gone by January.
If he doesn't get taken.
He'll be gone if he doesn't get it right. So I don't think he get taken by a bigger club out of League One. I think you've got to go and prove the same thing in the Championship to jump up to the Premier League, because the gap is smaller, right? But he's got to prove it, and he's got it. That's a dead ball free kick. Your technique is unreal, right? You've shown 2 different free kicks, 2 different techniques, unreal. Not many players can do it, but the pressure is hitting the target. Up against someone. It's not. You're allowed to shoot then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you ain't got a defender who's coming to press you, or a midfielder, or wherever you. So for me, I think he's far more disciplined, and still I would like to see that little bit more aggression in his game. I keep saying to people, well, his brother's in the team now. I met their father, lovely guy, after one of the Welsh games, and I'm sure Mr. Colwill split those boys up from Ruckin quite a few times, right? It's that sort of aggression, not the fight rolling around, but that aggression that you're not going to be beaten by your younger brother then, or you're not going to be beaten by this opponent.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I seen it at Norwich last year, last game of the season. And if Rubes was sat there now, I'd say to him, I've seen it. When you went across the ball, you miskicked it. I think it his right foot, he went across with his left. He fell over, his legs went up in the air, and he was embarrassed. And he slammed the floor, and someone come to him, one of the players, to say, oh, don't worry. And he batted him away because he was so angry. Now, I'm not saying playing that, but that aggression
You like to see that aggression.
That aggression that came, because he was, for the next 20 minutes, he was brilliant. He was like playing like with a grit in him. And he's brilliant relaxed, but there's times where you're going to come up against better opposition where the grit is going to be needed.
So earlier on, you talked about Wrexham and sort of looked a bit leggy. Let's move on to Newport County.
Yeah.
They keep conceding late goals.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're recording this on Tuesday afternoon before they play Salford at Rodney Parade. Is there a reason why? Because I don't think they lack fitness.
No.
And I wonder whether it's just a sort of
It's a
mindset
psychological thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why that should happen.
Okay, let me explain
I'm
to you.
thinking maybe mental
So when you play
toughness, is that it?
I wouldn't say toughness, but when you're playing and things become self-fulfilling. So I always used to say, like, if you say, right, I've gone 5 games without scoring, I can't go 6. I guarantee you go 6, 7. Flip side of that is, I know I'm going to score today.
Yeah.
And I would score, right? So I know what you're saying. It's not a mental toughness, but it becomes self-fulfilling. Last 10 minutes, you start looking at the clock, you see 82, and you think, we kind of concede here, and we back, and we right, and I'm scared, and I kick my clearance because I'm a bit nervy because I know it was 84 minutes, and we're still 1-0 up, and then bang, it goes in the 92nd minute. They're in that sort of position where you think about it, and it becomes true almost, right? There was like,
and yet, I'm sort of agreeing with you on
Wrexham
this.
have it when the last 10 minutes they're a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
And they know we can get back in the game.
Cardiff
had it in the Warnock. We can get back into the game
in the League
last
Cup,
10 minutes.
Wrexham.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say it's not sort of mental so much, because I was about to say, if you were going to say it was mental, I was about to say, well, the one thing they did at Barnet, the opening game of the whole season, they conceded 2 goals in injury time and then had the mental strength to win the shootout, the penalty shootout in the League Cup.
But they did concede. That's the point.
Right.
So even though we got over the hill and it's one of them moments, in the back of your head and the press and everybody talks about, well, you should never be in a penalty shootout. You conceded 2 late goals again. That word again will come behind it. So it's something they're going to have to get over. But I think Hughes is doing the right thing in the sense as he's trying to start with defence and move forward.
It's interesting. Ollie on X, who's a big Newport County fan, says,
all right,
I don't think we'll be in trouble with the squad, but we're 1 or 2 off being top half.
I don't know about that at all, to be honest with you. I'll be totally honest. I think you're probably 4 players short, maybe 5 of a squad. I think people tend to forget November, December, January, February.
Yeah.
Those 4 months.
Dave Hughes is still looking for players.
And rightly so. Right?
And it's going to be really interesting. And next week, I think we'll have a good look at what clubs need in the transfer window. Because the transfer window will be upon us. That following
Hughes
Monday,
going to have to get the checkbook out.
Well,
but I would say in this modern day now, the amount of frees that are available.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't have to worry about like, oh, well, can we pay the wages or whatever? Right, someone might have been earning $5,000 a week at a League One club, $3,000 a week at a League One club. If they're free, you can just go.
Well, they organise these games now, don't they? For free transfer.
Exactly. So you come and pick from the
free agents
absolutely,
who haven't got a club to go to.
So it's again though, it's about your scouting and recruitment.
Yeah.
And that's why we spoke about Newport last week, and I was saying you can't keep fishing in that Welsh pond all the time. Welsh Premier League. Cast your net out, cast your rod out. Like it's all over North England, Ireland, Scotland Premier League Division 1, 2. Get out there and scout. Don't just think to yourself, computer and stats.
We'll come to the Premier League, Cymru Premier League in a moment. Because first of all, I want to pay tribute to Merthyr again.
Go on.
Won at Peterborough Sports last Saturday, their first away game in the National League North.
Have you seen the goals?
Oh.
I will say, though, Peterborough looked like, are you all about 60? Because they were just popping.
Well, I even saw an ex post from a Peterborough sports fan saying, "You played us off the park."
They popped them
and
off the
also,
park.
and I'm going to mention this because he said how good the support was from Merthyr, and we will get up to Merthyr this season because it's just a brilliant atmosphere there.
It's just up the road from
and
me.
their supporters not just saved the club, but are really invested in it now. And I'm so pleased for Merthyr. I am really pleased. And Paul Michael is being hailed, this manager.
Yeah. Well, he's done a brilliant job. He's done a brilliant job.
But he is doing a brilliant job. Yeah.
Hopefully my boy's up there, Andrew James, JMO. Not many people know from Merthyr who I'm talking about.
Right.
He was at Chelsea with me as a kid. I haven't seen him for years.
Oh, right. Oh, well, there we are then. So great for them.
Great strike.
And they go to Curzon Ashton this Saturday. It's all new to the Merthyr fans.
Yeah.
But they're going to love it.
Well, they'll play, we said they'll play Hereford, won't they? Which will be a derby.
Again, Merthyr play on a Tuesday night when we're recording Tuesday afternoon. I should say now they offer discounts for EFL season ticket holders of other clubs.
That's fantastic.
So Swansea, Cardiff...
What's the food like there?
Newport fans. Oh, the Merthyr Cobb.
Okay, so why don't we do a podcast and then go up one night of a game straight after and just watch?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
No, we've got something in mind for next month going up to Merthyr.
Okay.
But the food is just, it's a thing of beauty in the Merthyr Cobb.
I know you though. I'm a bit fussy than you.
Oh no.
You eat.
Well, if you like
river,
cob with the bread pulled out, chips, sausages with curry sauce. That is the Merthyr Cobb.
You can't do that.
Oh no, you can. It is food heaven. It is food heaven. But anyway, maybe
cheese and chips.
Next week I'll tell you why Merthyr in the National Division North, because I've heard it said, well, why are they there? But I think I know why.
Well, it's the same as Hereford, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, there was an ex-post. This is before they played on Tuesday evening. How far is it from Hereford to Wrexham? I think it was 23 places, the table, because Merthyr were top going into Tuesday night's game. So I had a little chuckle at that. Meanwhile, Cymru Prem leaders are now Carnarvon. Yes, TNS sort of
2-0
reasserted themselves with a 2-0 win over Penabont after their shock defeat to Britain Ferry.
Yeah.
But the Covey Army are top after a 6-1 win
some goals
over
as well.
Llanelli. Yeah. Adam Davis got a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And 6-1, I read, is the most goals they've scored in 2 decades.
Yeah. Brilliant. I've seen some of the goals. I think it might have been Davis who... I think it's second or third where he bends it. Some really good goals. Needs to generate more fans.
Well, I was going to say, because if
Carnarvon
the keep winning, they do have a real loyal band of fans. And they can get, Malcolm Allen will always tell you, come to Carnarvon. I did a game there a few years ago. Fans are brilliant.
Yeah.
But they do get numbers in comparison with other Cymru Prem clubs. So... and they've been in Europe now as well. So it's promising for them there.
Yeah, I just think you're competing with absolute monsters, right?
Yeah.
The EFL, the Premier League, the Scottish Premier League. But, I do think in Wales you can get behind it a bit more as well. They can try and generate more fans, more business, and do a bit more. But for me, like I always say, I love an atmosphere, even if it's against me.
Yeah,
trust me.
No, there is some atmosphere there. So this weekend, Carnarvon are at Flint. TNS hosts Connah's Quay, and Britain Ferry, who are second in the table, are away to Llanelli.
Yeah.
That will be. But I'm going to mention this as well, which you don't see very often. There were 2 postponements on Saturday in the Flint area. On the weekend, Colwill against Bala, Flint Haverfordwest. Issues with the water supply in Flintshire. Burst water main left thousands without a water supply. And the FAW actually issued a statement saying that Dŵr Cymru had been unable to complete the repairs quickly due to the nature of the pipe's position underground and the proximity of electric cables and other services. So early decisions were made to...
just reverse the fixture?
Well, there
Was it too late?
was some talk of that. I think it was Colwyn Bay, but that didn't happen. So they've both been rearranged now. But that's an unusual postponement. But the one thing's for certain, Nathan, we'll be back next week, won't we?
We will indeed, my friend. We will. And please, next week, do your laces up.
Oh, no, it's a problem I've got with laces. They
not
always
like you
keep
can't reach
coming
them, is it?
undone. So I should say again that if you want to get involved with sponsorship, advertising of the Robin Blakey Commentary Box podcast, then please do stay in touch with us. Get in touch with us. You can contact us on the robinblakey at gmail.com. We'd love to get your support, and you can be part of a growing podcast.
Yeah, we need to get in touch with Robbo as well, because we're going north, aren't we, at some point?
We are. So you're listening, or you've been listening and watching the Robin Blakey Commentary Box, loud and clear on Welsh football, recorded at the University of South Wales Atrium campus with the support of the journalism and media courses. Don't forget, you can find us on all the main social media platforms: X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and of course YouTube, or anywhere else you get your podcasts, including Spotify. And don't forget as well, if you're on X or Threads or Blue Sky, engage with us after your game on Saturday. We love to hear your views, and as you've heard today and seen today, we will read out your contributions.
Could we put a poll out, like, who should start? That'd be a good one. The question you put,
Okay.
who should start goalkeeper-wise for Wales?
Yeah, okay, then let's put that out there on the Robin Blakey podcast, whichever media site you're on. Let's put it out there. Who should start for Wales? We're talking Danny Ward or Carl Darlow. And we'll bring you the results next week when we see you then.
Au revoir.